Today's Mercedes-Benz interview of the day brought to you by the superbly versatile all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz, the feeling all-electric, the feeling all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com/EQB. Reginald Aloysius Miller Jr. III. He'll be on the call with Kevin Harlan, Jamal Crawford, Allie LaForce. Tip-off 10:30 Eastern on TNT tonight. Game 5 in Denver. Before we talk about that, help me understand the Dallas Mavericks shooting 52% from the free throw line last night. And Jason Kidd says, hey, you know what? We'll address that coming up. They haven't been good all year. So how do you address bad free throw shooting at this time of the year?
I don't think you can address it. It's all about your mental approach to the free throw line. They are called free throws for a reason. And it's all about your approach. And you can practice them all you want, but come game time, you've got to go up there and knock them down. There's no excuse for shooting 52% at home. You could make a case on the road, the nerves, the hostile environment, maybe. But at home, there's no excuse with a chance for your team to take a stranglehold of a series and go up 3-1. It's sad that it came down to basically free throws, because that was the difference. Both teams didn't shoot the ball particularly well. It felt like it was, a 90s type game, all about defense, low scoring. And it came down to some of the most simple things, and that is free throws.
Yeah, OKC was 23 of 24. Dallas was 12 of 23. But how do you put yourself in the mindset of practicing a game-like situation? How did you do it? Because you're one of the great free throw shooters of all time.
Well, you prepare and you put yourself in the same environment of when you're going through your usual game time prep and you're taking your normal shots. I think a lot of people neglect free throws because they think it's just a simple task. But I always like to put pressure on myself, assuming that the game is on the line. And the same way you're doing the 3-2-1 for a last-minute shot, you've got to put yourself in that same environment when you're shooting free throws, especially for me on the road in a hostile environment. I assume at home, because it's almost like you see in football when it's, 4th and inches on the goal line and the quarterback comes up. At home, everyone's quiet. On the road, it's a little bit more boisterous and a hostile environment, and you got to prepare your mind for that.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. Denver's not a good free throw shooting team, but in the playoffs, they've been a good free throw shooting team. So that says something about sort of the mentality of when games are on the line, and that's what great teams do. They step up. What do you?
I think you have to address the elephant in the room as well. And if Jason Kidd knows they're not a great free throw shooting team, you do have to address that in your pregame speech. Guys, go to the line, concentrate. My Pacer teams, Dale Davis wasn't a great free throw shooter, worked tirelessly on his free throws during practice. And, I even heard Shaq say this too. He made them when it counted. And that's what you fall back on. You can practice them all you want, but come game time, in a real-time setting, when there's consequences to be had, you see who has it and who doesn't.
Speaking of the elephant in the room, here is Reggie during the game, last game, possibly taking a shot at LeBron James.
Oh, come on.
We've got certain veteran status in our game that are on a lot of people's Mount Rushmore that like to deflect and point fingers at others. Here's a 22-year-old saying, this is on me. It's my fault.
Who are you taking a shot at?
I'm taking a shot in general. I'm trying to give credit and creed to a 20-year-old, 22-year-old, because I want to put myself in his shoes, right? And I remember when I was 21, 22, I don't know if I could have gotten in front of a camera with the world watching and said, this is on me. And I know a lot of people want to think and assume it's LeBron I'm taking shots at because, look, I've been in those locker rooms when certain veterans shy away from that. And it's quick to always pile on LeBron. If it was LeBron, I would have said LeBron James.
But you
right?
said current players Mount Rushmore, so
you just assume it's LeBron?
Well, who else is it going to be?
Well,
it could only be KD or Steph. Those are the only possible guys who could be on the current Mount Rushmore.
It's more so.
But you gave Ant-Man credit, which I'm fine with. You just brought in another portion when you said the current Mount Rushmore.
Well, I've seen a lot of guys deflect those criticisms when here's a 22-year-old stepping up, taking responsibility. So you could take it either way you want. Is it a shot at LeBron? Absolutely not, because I've seen him do the same thing Ant-Man has done, too.
Okay, is there a player in your head, then, if you say it's not LeBron? Because you know what? You did say this about the coaches got fired, but the players either last week or the week before. So you were saying that you got coaches fired in Phoenix and Los Angeles where players maybe didn't take the blame.
No, what I said was the coaches, unfortunately, are always the first to go because the players have guaranteed contracts.
Yes.
So coaches are always the first to go, which is unfortunate. I said we need to look more so at the players and more so who's putting the rosters together, Theodore.
Okay, but do you have a player in mind? Because you said current Mount Rushmore. If it's not LeBron,
I will leave it up to interpretation.
Yeah, but that's part of the problem. Now we bring in all these other people. So you took a shot at maybe LeBron or KD because they didn't take ownership or blame for the coaches getting. How about you just nod your head? Was it LeBron?
No, stop it.
I thought that.
Everyone thinks that everything evolves around LeBron. It's not. Everything does not evolve around LeBron, guys. It doesn't.
I felt that. I felt that you were saying LeBron because the only other player current on the Mount Rushmore would have been Durant because Steph has had Steve Kerr as his coach, and
Steph is not. Steph, no. Steph, LeBron, KD, whomever. I'll leave it up to your interpretation. Or I'll just do this.
Nod your head. Okay.
To whoever you're thinking of in your head.
Okay. Tell me what was happening with LeBron showing up in Cleveland last night. Because he doesn't accidentally do things.
He doesn't?
No.
He's from Akron. He's won a championship for the Cleveland Cavaliers. A guy can't go out and enjoy a playoff game.
You're not reading anything into that.
No, I'm not. Not at all. He's from Akron. He won a championship there. Their only championship.
He came in halfway through the first quarter.
I don't know
with
when
a bottle of
there.
wine.
I don't. Maybe he was. Maybe he was in one of the suites. I don't know when he got
Why
there.
would you show up to see the Cavaliers play the Celtics?
He's from the area. He
lives in L.A.
for the season.
He's not vacationing in Cleveland.
I'm not saying he's vacationing. I guarantee you he still has a home there.
You don't think that there was more to that?
Okay, now let me ask you. Okay. What do you think there's more to?
I just think there is because it's LeBron. LeBron is passive-aggressive.
What are you saying? So what? He wants to come back to Cleveland?
Maybe.
If
you were going to get to the Eastern Conference, let's say you're going to play for another championship, you got a better chance in L.A. or Cleveland. That's why he was courtside last night, right? Right?
Well, I don't know because I think Cleveland has a lot of questions they need to answer too with Donovan Mitchell going forward too. Is Mitchell still in the mix here? They do have a nice young core. There's a lot of things in play here. Why can't a guy just go out and enjoy a playoff game? Why does everything have to be so controversial with LeBron?
It's not. Why? It's not. It's he doesn't do things without thought. Now, if he says, "Hey, I I was in the neighborhood, and why not take in a
He is in the neighborhood. Akron is right down the road.
No, he's in Beverly Hills.
Oh, during the season, they've been out. They've been gone.
All right.
Let him go enjoy a game. See, everyone always wants to pile on LeBron.
I'm not piling on. I'm saying I'm looking at this and going, is there something more at play? Keep in mind.
Would this be this would be the place you would think he would want to come back to?
Well, you could bookend your career. Maybe, they'll take
I think he already
Bronny.
bookended by winning them a championship. I think everything going forward for LeBron.
He's playing house money if he goes back there.
Yes, everything going forward for him is in L.A. He's in the entertainment business now. He's making movies.
I know.
He's producing. Everything going forward for LeBron is in L.A.
But not a title.
Unless.
Not a title. Everything's in L.A. but a title.
Didn't he win a title there?
Well, they won in Orlando, but that's a few years ago.
As well as Cleveland a few years ago.
Yes. Okay. Do you remember when LeBron was with the Heat? They were retiring Zydrunas Ilgauskas jersey.
Yes.
And he flew to Cleveland, and Pat Riley was not pleased. And then what happened? LeBron went back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So maybe there's nothing here. Maybe there's nothing to see.
I cannot. If this does happen, we've got to revisit this conversation you and I had, because this is breaking news. I was just thinking a guy was coming out to a place that he loves, had a lot of great memories, won their only championship, and I'm sure he's still cool with a lot of people in the front office. I think that was a cool gesture to have the greatest player of their generation at their game.
The last thing you would want to do is go watch a basketball game after you just went through the season you did with the Lakers. Like, you don't go, you know what, hon? I'm really jonesing for some more basketball here. All right. Reggie Miller will be on the call tonight in Denver, Game 5 with Kevin Harlan and Allie LaForce and also Jamal Crawford. What do you expect now? I got Minnesota a slight underdog going into Game 5, which will hinge on what or whom?
For Minnesota?
Either one. But the game hinges on what or whom?
For Minnesota, Karl Anthony Towns has to play at an elite level. I think he's forcing things, but I give Denver a lot of credit because they're playing him with smaller defenders and they are baiting him to try to play bully ball down low, and it's just not working. And if he continues to shoot how he's been shooting, this series will be over in the next 2 games. So he's got to find a way to be more efficient. Like we saw the response from Anthony Edwards with his 43, 44 points here in Game 4. But Karl Anthony Towns has to be much better for Minnesota. And for Denver, I've been saying this all along. As great as the MVP is Jokic and Murray, his shooting, when Aaron Gordon plays like this, they're a different team at both ends of the floor because he can defend multiple positions, guarding Karl Anthony Towns, and he's guarding Anthony Edwards. But when he's shooting the ball like this, now he's shooting threes, now he's making threes, he gives them that X factor. So when Gordon plays like this, really, Denver is unbeatable, in my opinion.
Should Shaq have told the Joker that he voted for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for MVP?
This is a tough one because Shaq, for one, he wears his heart on his sleeve. But when a guy is waiting on a call like this and you have your family around and this is supposed to be a moment of, to celebrate a winner 3 times in 4 years, maybe it's not the right time, but Shaq this is what makes our show unique. Our guys tell the truth. They have no filter. But let me say this. If there's no bigger supporter of Jokic than Shaq. And it's that big man alliance. And Shaq he said it. He said it so many times that Nikola Jokic is his favorite player. Was it the right time to say that Shea should have won it? Maybe not, but Shaq's not going to hold that, and that's what's made him great. That's what made him great as a player, and certainly that's what made him great for television.
Well, Shannon Sharp said it was jealousy.
I don't think so.
Shaq had one MVP, which is still amazing.
It is, and I thought he certainly should have had 3 himself.
Well, he should have had one of Steve Nash's.
Look, that's people voting. That's out of his control.
Yes.
Know this, Shaq. You are, and trust me, I know very well because I've had to go through you so many years. Trust me, the most dominant player at his position maybe ever, and I'm including Wilt in that. So, I mean, come on now. I mean, Shannon can say jealousy all he wants. Shaq is arguably one of the most dominant men basketball players ever.
Before I let you go, it feels like Tom Thibodeau is getting credit and getting criticized because of the minutes that his players were playing in the playoffs. Given that they had already had injuries, they have to play. Now they're breaking down. So where do you stand on Tibbs and the minutes his players play and how he's gotten to this point where he's got a pretty banged-up team going into tonight?
Theodore, you've been around this game a long time, and you know how playoff basketball goes, and you know how coaches operate. They shorten the rotation. It's always been like that. Is this a little bit to the extreme? Maybe, but it's no different than what any other coach is doing right now. He has shortened his rotation to the extreme. Now, the injuries kind of highlight the issues of doing that, but now Burks is back into the rotation now, and he played well those 2 games in Indiana, and they're going to need his shot making. But you can't criticize him, for something that was working, against Philadelphia, right? That shortened rotation won them that series.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate the injuries are starting to compound. But last time I checked, my beloved Pacers have to win a road game for them to win the series.
Yeah.
So they can lose all the road games they want in this series and still win it. So this is a pivotal game tonight. Game 5s are always fun when it's 2-2, and it's even funner when the 2 teams really don't like one another.
Well, we got a great rivalry tonight. Reg will be on the call. Game 5, it'll be Kevin Harlan, Jamal Crawford, and Allie LaForce. Tip-off is at 10:30 Eastern on TNT. Thanks for fighting the good fight, Reg. Have fun tonight. Thanks for joining.
I cannot wait to revisit this. If you know something that we don't know about
anything.
LeBron and Cleveland.
Talk to you
Tell
soon.
us.
Talk to you soon. Reggie Aloysius Miller Jr. III.